right, welcome to this episode of Multifamily Mindset Think Bigger. This is actually one of the ones I really enjoy going over. There's 3 ways we get paid on every deal. So every student is always asking, how do we get paid on these? So 3 different ways that we get paid are acquisition fees, cash flow, and equity. All right, let's go through these 3 different ways. The first one, acquisition fee. This is the one that most students really want to know about, whether they've come from single family or any other investing. They typically get paid as soon as the deal's done. And so acquisition fee, this is something we get as soon as the deal closes. This is a fee that we get for structuring the deal, putting the deal together, and overseeing the deal. The percentages typically on this deal are anywhere from 3 to 5%. At the class, we're going to show you how to get 5%. By moving some numbers around, we can get closer to that number. So let me show you an example of a deal that we did. We did a 40-unit deal just north of Charlotte, North Carolina. It was $1.1 million. On this one, we did a 4% acquisition fee. That equates out to $44,000. When we close on a smaller deal like that, that's not bad. $44,000, a lot that you can do with that, especially with one check. This is actually the second smallest acquisition fee that we've ever received. The smallest one we ever received was $20,000. Now, the biggest one, I tell you, this is just a humbling experience. It was on a 415-unit deal. It was $1.8 million, so just shy of $2 million. And I tell you, when we took that check into the bank, man, it was just the most humbling experience being able to put that into the bank right away. Just a massive check that we were able to do a lot of things with with our investment company. So this is the acquisition fee, is really important. Like I said, we're going to go over in the class of how to get 5%. The second one is cash flow. When we talk about cash flow, there's 2 different types of cash flow. There's passive income and active income. So let's go over the 2. Passive income is really something when you're not at a job, you're not working, you're still making money, like multifamily properties. On our properties, we get paid every quarter. Whether we're there or not, I could be in Hawaii, I could be on a trip with my kids, and I'm still getting paid. Active income is going to be more of, I have to be at a job, a 9-to-5 job. And if I'm not there, I don't get paid. If I go on vacation, I don't get paid typically. If I'm a doctor or an attorney, I don't get paid if I don't put the time into it. And so, working a 9-to-5 job, one thing we talk about at the class is how to be job optional. How can you invest in real estate? And if you really like your job, like you're a doctor, and you really want to continue doing that, being job optional, to have choices and opportunity to be able to do things you want. It gives you freedom. It gives you the ability to go on vacation and do those things that you want. So we're really going to talk about passive income versus active income. Let me just go over this really quick. I got my 2 boys. I just want to go over a story about active income. I worked at a job making $100,000 a year, and out of college, I had an accounting degree and, worked in finance for a little bit, but made really good money. One day, I was making, out of the $100,000 a year, we could do whatever we wanted. We went where we wanted, did what we wanted. I thought I was safe. I thought I was secure. And one day my boss came into me and said, hey, Ryan, I got something to tell you, man. I don't know how to tell you this, but we've just figured we've been overpaying for your position. And so we're going to drop that down to $40,000 a year. Now, you can imagine, my 2 little boys you can see there, what that did to me. Immediately that was a $60,000 a year loss. As a father, I thought, man, how am I going to pay my bills? I got used to living on, a 6-figure income. This is active income. At any given time, I have friends, and I'm sure people, and you might be in the same situation where you've been told that you're not worth, what your work ethic is. I knew that I was worth 6 figures. As a father, and I'm a single father now of my 2 boys, for me, it's important to have passive income. My multifamily properties, it allows me to be able to go where I want. In this picture here, you can see I went hiking with them. I was able to go and do the things I want. I'm able to go on vacations and know that I'm always going to be making money, and I'm never going to be put into that same position again where a boss tells me, I'm not going to make that same amount of money. I know the harder I work and the more properties I acquire, the more money I'm going to make. So, when we talk about job optional, I don't have to work for someone. I'm my own boss. So let's go over the equity part of it. This is awesome because this is where we get big checks. These checks, these equity checks allow us to do, certain things like having a second home or a vacation home. So many students are always saying they love to travel. They would love to have a vacation home to be able to go to. One big thing they would love to be able to pay for education. They've got their kids and they don't know how they're going to do it. They're working, 9 to 5 jobs and, living paycheck to paycheck. Imagine having a big equity check where you could pay for your education for your kids or for your grandkids, and then medical care. So many students that have come to our class to say, my parents, I have to put them in an assisted living facility or senior living facility. That's expensive. It could be $10,000 a month. And how do you do that? It's $120,000 a year. Imagine, let me go over that same 40-unit deal. We've sold that now. On that deal, we got a $580,000 equity check. Now, on this check that we got, we didn't put any of our own money into this deal, right, at all. And to be able to get that $44,000, to get some cash flow, and to get an equity check of $580,000, imagine what would that do for you guys? Would it allow you to be able to do a second home? Would it allow you to be able to pay for your kids' education or grandkids' education? Would it allow you to be able to set up a trust fund? Would it allow you to be able to pay off medical bills for your family? These are all important things, and this is what's great about equity. The class, we're going to show you how to find value-add deals to be able to take advantage of big equity checks. Nothing better than that. So let's go over why a lot of people ask why I went from single-family properties to multifamily properties. Once again, when we talk about active income versus passive income, think about it for those of you that do single-family homes. I used to do that back in the early 2000s. I was in my early 20s, and when we sold a property, what did we have to do? We had to go find another property. And when that property sold, what did we have to do? We had to find another property and another property. Think about this. You could do 15 to 20 different single family properties to make the same amount that you would do on a multifamily property. What's that sound like to you? Sounds like a job to me, right? And then exactly what was that back in the early 2000s? It was a job. That was active income. If just like a doctor or an attorney, if you're not doing the work and you're not flipping properties, you're not making money. Whereas a multifamily property, we're going to hold those for 3, 5, 7 years, and you're going to have checks coming in every single month, right? We typically pay out every quarter, but that's cash flow, passive income coming in every single month. Now you can see why I do multifamily and I don't do single family anymore. Even though single family was great, you can see the advantages of multifamily, just like the example of the 40-unit deal, a $44,000 acquisition check, all the way to a $580,000 equity check. I'm grateful for that, but this is really a good example of active income versus passive income. So I just want to recap the 3 different ways that we get paid, right? It's acquisition fees, cash flow, and equity.